The state's anti-discrimination laws are being put to the test at a tribunal hearing in Melbourne this week. A support group for young gay people living in rural Victoria claims it was subject to unlawful discrimination when it was refused access to a campsite run by Christian youth camps. At the heart of the case is the right to religious freedom versus the right to be free from discrimination. What started out as a plan to hold a youth camp at a resort on Phillip Island has turned into a 3-year legal stoush over Victoria's anti-discrimination laws. And it's come to a head at the Victorian Civil and Administrative Tribunal this week.
We do feel a little bit as though these young people, because of their homosexuality, have been targeted.
Myself and the young people were hurt, upset and angry.
This is Christian Youth Camps, CYC. Pretty clear what their purpose was, pretty clear who they were, and one wonders why a group like Way Out would have attempted even to inquire about a campsite in that situation.
The case centres on a complaint made by the Cobor Community Health Service. It runs a group called Way Out, which provides support to young gay people living in rural Victoria. In early 2007, Way Out staff were planning a weekend getaway and personal development forum.
When we were first approached with the idea, we were told that there was going to be a safe sex health talk, which was actually really exciting because that was one of the problems that we had brought up with our local group, is that we had safe sex or sex ed at school and it didn't seem like it could relate to us. It wasn't very inclusive.
Phillip Island Adventure Resort was chosen as the preferred destination.
And we thought it was a great idea, a lot of us are from regional Victoria, so a nice sea change was good. Ferry penguins are also a great attraction, and just a nice place to get away from our everyday run-of-the-mill, regional drought in Victoria. The Phillip Island Adventure Resort seemed like a great place to go.
And also just really excited about meeting other same-sex attracted young people, because when you live in a rural area, you just feel really isolated.
Way Out project coordinator Sue Hackney rang to make the booking and spoke to the resort manager, Mark Rowe. By the end of that conversation, it was clear that the booking would not go ahead, but exactly why is a matter that is now hotly contested. The resort is run by Christian youth camps and owned by the Christian Brethren. Way Out alleges it was refused access to the campsite because its group members are gay.
We were notified by the Brethren that because they were same-sex attracted young people, and we were upfront about what the camp was about, that wouldn't be acceptable to them.
Christian Youth Camps denies the allegation. In a statement, Phillip Island Adventure Resort manager Mark Rowe says the campsite did not take the Way Out group's booking because the group itself is about the promotion of homosexuality, and that the practice and promotion of homosexuality is in conflict with the group's understanding of the Bible. Representatives from CYC declined to be interviewed, but Rob Ward from the Australian Christian Lobby has been closely following the case.
The issue for CYC was not that there were homosexual people there. They've had camps with homosexual people there. That's not an issue. But because this involved young people, and as they understood it at the time, possibly young teenagers, and that this group advocates the fact, or their view rather, that homosexuality is a perfectly normal choice, something that the Brethren Church does not believe, that was the grounds, as I understand it, for saying probably not what we're about, please find another camp.
Religious groups are allowed to discriminate on grounds of sexuality under Victoria's Equal Opportunity Act, as long as that discrimination is based on genuine religious beliefs. The exemption was maintained under a recent review of the Act, a decision Rob Ward says was crucial to protecting the right to religious freedom.
Under the law as it stands, a religious group is allowed in a number of areas to discriminate on the basis of a set of values. As I say, they change a little bit in about 12 months' time, but for the moment at least, a group can say, no, the practice that you're encouraging is not something that we believe in, and therefore we would rather not provide that service or rent our property to you for that purpose.
But Way Out argues the exemption doesn't apply because Christian Youth Camps is a commercial entity and it contends corporations can't hold religious beliefs.
I believe that Christian Brethren or not, they're a commercial business, and in the marketplace, a commercial business, I don't believe, should be able to come under that banner of religious exemptions when they're offering a commercial business to the world.
The government won't be drawn on its own interpretation of the law.
I think I'd prefer to wait and see what VCAT says. They're very technical questions and they're very detailed and they're very case specific, so that the case is before VCAT and we'll look and see what VCAT decides.
Way Out is seeking what it describes as modest compensation, but says its main aim is to have the law clarified.
We understand that we may not win this case, but the young people have remained over a 3-year period very dedicated to taking the case and to exploring the issue.
Both sides of the argument believe VCAT's decision will have wider implications.
Perhaps, we can, get a resolution or some kind of outcome that really makes quite clear what discrimination is and what discrimination isn't, and that we can have the opportunity to not feel like we have that discrimination anywhere we go.
I think if you were to look at this as a principle, you would be looking at Christian schools, Christian welfare organisations, a whole range of areas where the church, and not just Christians but also other religions, serve the community. If they are denied the opportunity to maintain the values and ethos of those organisations, then why bother?
And that hearing is continuing.